We had Ian Rappaport on in the first hour asking about the Jacksonville Jaguars' plans to hire a coach. He said that Bill O'Brien's on the list. As you know, he's the offensive coordinator in the national championship game for Alabama. Anybody wants to, get a gig if they're, been fired, just go to Alabama and start winning some games, and you're on people's lists. And obviously he knows the AFC South, and the Jaguars will come grab him. Ian pointed out he's a pretty darn good coach before he tried his hand at player personnel. And Cardinals fans know all about him as player personnel, trading away DeAndre Hopkins. But I imagine the Jaguars would not hand that sort of control to him.
Probably not.
But he did, let's put it this way, he did develop Deshaun Watson, so why not take another Clemson Tiger and have him say, do the same.
Do that thing.
Do that thing, too.
Yeah.
The thing you did with him, do that with him.
Although they're talking to your OC, Kellen Moore, tonight.
Yeah. He's not leaving the building.
I just think the guy they should take is the guy that they're interviewing apparently right now. That's Byron Leftwich. Byron Leftwich's issue, if there is one, is that, okay, we see what you did with the GOAT. But he also did it with Jameis before the end of that.
That's true.
He was there when Jameis was going back-to-back, 500, 400 games, He knows the area. I just love his personality. He brings and don't forget, Arians was in that chair to my right here in our set years ago, and he said, if I ever come back, I'm not calling the plays. And the guy who he called to say, I'd like to come back, but I'm not doing it. You're the guy. Is Leftwich. That's the guy who he's trusted. That's the guy who he's entrusted. And the Jaguars fans know him. I'll cape for him. But yeah, what did you do? It's Tom Brady. Well, somebody's got to work with Tom Brady, huh?
Someone's got to call the plays.
I think that's the guy right there. That would kind of make sense to me.
Yeah, I think Bill O'Brien is a good spot, too. I mean, I can't go wrong either one of those guys. Like, this guy went to the playoffs with Brian Hoyer and Brock Osweiler. Like, the dude can really coach. And I know some of the personnel moves have kind of clouded people's judgment or maybe caused them to forget about that, but this guy can really get it done. And he's a real hard-nosed guy. The famous clip of him yelling at Tom Brady on the sideline, and maybe that's what Trevor Lawrence needs right now.
To be yelled at?
There's some tough love and some hard coaching.
Yeah,
which maybe he didn't get at Clemson, and he certainly didn't get this year in Jacksonville.
That doesn't mean he needs to be a coach who's, an old school yeller and screamer.
I'm not talking about getting in his face. I'm just talking about some hard nose.
How about
what's he done to make you go, all right, this kid needs to...
That's what he's done.
Team stinks. And by the way, like I tried to tell you all last year, maybe people were putting Trevor Lawrence on too high of a pedestal. And it seems as though maybe that was the case. Well, obviously not optimal conditions.
Let's not forget, how many games did Aikman win as a rookie?
What did he go? Either 1 in 15?
One.
Yeah. So
one.
He turned. But
Where's
then again,
Aikman
Brockman
now?
doesn't think
Aikman
Aikman's that great either. So
I think he's
Oh my
for another
God.
day.
You've just lost all perspective. Water skiing behind the 15 ring yacht, man.
Well, you can say that from being a fan of a team that's never won in your lifetime. So I disagree with that.
By the way, how about that one too? When Von Miller was talking about how the Broncos did him a favor, they treated him well when they finally decided we're going to trade you, and they traded him to the Rams. He said they could have traded me to the Jets.
The Jets are like, oof.
I appreciate our CP Mike Hoskins, who cut that up, did not use my shot of me on my side of the Zoom for that part of our interview. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.